entering the town of Twin Peaks.
There was a fish in the percolator.
A damn fine cup of coffee.
You are witnessing a front three-quarter view of two adults sharing a tender moment.
It is happening again.
Take another look, Sonny. It's going to happen again.
What kind of fantastic trees have you got growing around here?
I'm going to turn it upside down.
Sheriff, we got a lot to talk about.
Sheriff, we've got a lot to talk about.
As always, we do.
So, we are back. This is Welcome to Twin Peaks, the Horror of the Hanna's Twin Peaks Rewatch podcast. And today we are joined by a very special guest in Cameron. Tell us where Cameron's from, Hanna.
Cameron is from the O&A and David Lynch's World on YouTube. We found him from chatting on Blue Sky. His account is David Lynch's Worlds. So hi, Cameron. Thanks for joining us.
It's great to meet you both, and thank you for asking me to come on here. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I was very excited when I found your account with all the cool stuff that you were posting. I try not to look too hard because I worry I'm going to get a spoiler, but it's very exciting. And I know that you also have done some Twin Peaks related filmmaking, correct?
Yes, a few years ago, I released a film I wrote and directed, a 4-hour film I wrote and directed called Queen of Hearts, a Twin Peaks fan film. And it concerns characters that you have no idea about yet. So I won't get into too many spoilers. But for anybody who's interested, check it out. It's on YouTube. You can watch it in parts, but I recommend watching it in the full version because that is sort of the more complete version at this point. And of course, YouTube will remember where you left off. So you don't have to watch it all in one sitting.
And you recommend watching this after watching all of the show, correct?
Yes, after season 3.
You got it.
Awesome. I'm excited to get to it eventually. But for now, today we're covering season 2, episodes 12 and 13. So Matt, do you want to... Oh, before I guess you give us some background, I do have a few more questions, actually. We should ask Cameron. So what was your background with Twin Peaks? Like, when did you first watch the show? Did you, love it on first watch, or did it take a bit?
Watched it when it aired. So 1990 through 91. I was 14 years old when it aired. So I didn't have to be anywhere on Saturday nights. And so 10 o'clock was just fine for me. This is where the Gulf War started to kick in. So episodes were being not played week to week. They were being postponed. And so people really didn't know when it was airing and when it wasn't airing. And with no DVR and no streaming capabilities, this is where people started jumping ship. I don't think people were necessarily jumping ship because the Laura Palmer mystery was solved. I think people were jumping ship because they couldn't keep up with it. And when they did catch it, they had missed a few episodes and didn't know where they were. It's a lot easier to watch this show now on disc and streaming than it was back then.
That's such an interesting perspective on it because I wasn't born yet. So I would have put that together that would have been such a huge barrier to actually watching the show live.
Well, I knew it was always moving around. I didn't realize it was because of the Gulf War partially.
Well, it was being postponed because of the Gulf War, but it was on Thursday nights, then Saturday nights, then back to Thursday nights.
Mm-hmm.
And Saturday night's a death night for TV, so...
It was then, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
And, there's an episode, a few episodes... Excuse me a second. There's an episode coming up where ABC came out and said Twin Peaks is canceled. We're not going to play anymore. And
that's crazy.
And there were still 6 episodes to go.
Crazy.
And so we had to wait 2 months, and then they started airing them.
You're going to lose everything. I'm sure, because we're going to give all the dates here, so I'm sure I'll find that when we're on those episodes.
Yeah,
that's wild.
So that'll be good. I'll make sure to bring this up again.
I mean, can you imagine if the first time we saw those last 6 episodes is when they hit DVD?
That would have been insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they finally caved and aired them, but Anyway, I'm so glad to be talking about these episodes because these are typically the least talked about episodes in the series. And I know some people have a real problem with the back half of season 2. My feeling is I understand the whole idea of like wrapping up the Laura Palmer mystery. It takes away a lot of the edge of the show. That being said, I love the back half of season 2, flaws and all, because now we get to hang out with the characters, and this is where the lore really starts to come in. And without that lore, there is no Fire Walk With Me, and there is no season 3.
I said something very similar recently, and this is only my second time through the show, and I'll say I am really enjoying this set of episodes so far. I think I am really appreciating them for what they are. So for those out there that are watching the first time, I'm sure it's a little harder to, but if you come back, I think they're going to work a lot better for you. But I'll get into it in a little bit.
We've had other friends who are watching along with us now, but it's their third or fourth watch, and they're saying the same thing to me. Like, oh, I didn't love it the first time. You might not like it this time, but when you go to rewatch the show, you're going to love these episodes because they're just part of the charm that is Twin Peaks.
And again, without them, you don't get Fire Walk With Me, and you definitely don't get the return.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm not knocking the X-Files, but Twin Peaks does not have 11 seasons. So even though there's flaws in all these episodes, there's only a finite amount of episodes. So I have learned to love all of it. Even if I have a problem with it, I love it. Just because there's only so few episodes.
I'm feeling pretty similarly on that. But let's ask you another question here before I get into all the background on these episodes. So we've been asking all of our guests, who are you in Twin Peaks, or who are you on our show of Twin Peaks?
We refer to Matt as, you know,
I'm Special Agent Dale Cooper, and she's Sheriff Truman. In our
for the bit,
yes.
the bit. But who would you be?
Oh, I have to pick someone different?
You can pick one of those two if you want.
I think when I was younger, I gravitated towards Kyle MacLachlan just because I had seen Blue Velvet and The Hidden, and The Doors was just coming out at this point. So he was like my guy. And I just loved the character of Dale Cooper. I thought that he was really fascinating. And when they start bringing in aspects about Wyndham Earle and Caroline, we get to see a vulnerability in his character that we haven't seen throughout the previous 16 episodes.
So you feel you relate to him the most then?
In the original series, yes.
Okay. I like it.
Okay.
All right. So we got 2 Dale Coopers on this show now. I'll take it. Well,
Well, hey, Cooper,
Cooper. We'll talk,
Okay.
Hannah. We'll talk
Well, no,
later.
she saw that. I mean, when Major
That's
Briggs
true.
brought him the message.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say this, since you've already seen that episode, go back and look at that spreadsheet. There are actually 5 Coopers on that line, not 3.
Ooh, okay. I feel like I remember noticing that there were more Coopers written than were verbally said. But maybe I'm making that up.
Some people will say, well, they streamlined it for the viewership. And I think it's just because nobody needs to hear Major Briggs say Cooper 5 times in a row on a show.
Yeah. Matt, do you want to start giving us some background?
Yeah, let's get into it. So, as Hannah said before, we are covering season 2, episode 12, named The Black Widow, written by Harley Peyton and Robert Engels, who have been all over this show so far, and directed by Caleb Deschanel, who's also directed multiple episodes. We've given all the background on the Deschanel family at this point. This episode aired on January 12th, 1991, to 10.3 million viewers in comparison to 12.1 of last week. Episode after that is episode 13, which is named Checkmate, written by Harley Peyton and directed by Todd Holland. It aired on January 19th, 1991 to 9.8 million, down from that 10.3. And I believe this is our first under 10 million, which is probably happening for all the reasons Cameron said before. So looking through, I didn't find any crazy fun facts, but I know Cameron has a couple for us from talking off air. So Cameron, I'm going to hand the floor to you to tell us.
Well, first things I just want to say, a lot of your listeners may not know this, but none of these episodes have titles. They weren't given titles when they first aired. There are no titles on the VHS box sets, the DVDs, the Blu-rays. The only time you see titles are on streaming. And I had heard the rumors, like everybody else, that some rogue German television station had just come up with these titles and put them out there, which makes no sense that David Lynch would approve that to be the official streaming titles.
So I lied to our audience because I told them that. Because I saw that written. It was written as fact on the internet.
Maybe about a
Oh.
year and a half ago, I reached out to Mark Frost on Twitter X, and I said, what is the deal with these titles? Because obviously they're not on the DVDs and the Blu-rays, and I was there when the show aired, and there were never any titles. He said these were internal titles as a joke for the crew. And somehow somebody got that list and sent that to the German television station.
Okay.
Wait.
So the German thing is partially true.
The German
But not
titles
who
are
came
true,
up
but
with them.
these titles were never supposed to leak. These were just jokes. That is why, because I said, there's no way David Lynch would call an episode "May the Giant Be With You." That makes no sense.
Or Drive with the Dead Girl. I liked Arbitrary Law is a great name for that episode.
But there are jokey titles, and I just want people to know that, I don't really care, but like the hardcore Twin Peaks fans from back in the day, you'll never hear us say the titles.
Interesting.
That's crazy.
Okay. I say them because everyone who pulls it up on streaming is going to see it. So if I say them, this is the episode. But I also had the issue of when we went through season 1, episode 1 is not the pilot, but everyone on streaming is going to see it that way. So I was like, I don't know what to call these. I'm just going to call it season 1 pilot and season 1 episode 1. And then I got to give the name Traces to Nowhere or whatever it was.
Like, the way you reference the episodes tells me where you came into the fandom.
Oh, me was 2 years ago. So,
but
we're babies.
The other fun fact, though, is in episode 13, and the only reason why I know this is because I recently was cutting a video of using this scene. But there's a moment where Major Briggs is in the conference room talking to Agent Cooper, and he said, Agent Cooper's asking for his help. And is it this one? Wait, it's not. My bad. I'm sorry. It's the next one. Sorry.
Okay, it's fine.
Okay, well, anyway, I was cutting a video, and there is they have a cutaway to fire, and in that fire, for one frame and one frame only, there is the image of an owl's face.
Oh, that's
one
really
frame,
cool.
And no,
that was during episode 13, right?
I'm trying to think.
That happened, yeah, because they interview him in the. They interview him there.
Is it?
Yeah,
it's before the MPs come and take Briggs'
There's
life.
like 3 of those that happen in this season, so I'm so forgive me if it's off. But anyway, there's a cool moment where there's one frame of an owl's face that nobody's ever seen before. So
that's
incredible.
Anyway, but yeah, these episodes are. Let me just, if you give me 1 second here. Yeah, as you were saying, there's not a lot of facts about this, just because at this point the show was sort of running on its own energy. They were just kind of cranking them out at this point.
Yeah, and you were saying beforehand, because there's a lot of misnomers about Lynch's involvement at this point in the season, because a lot of people think that this is kind of a downturn, and I think those people are cowards. But that being said, which it was, you were telling us that Lynch was very much, he had to sign off on every script, right? During this time
Mark
period.
Frost. Yes, they were both busy doing other things at this point. They had taken a step back with Harley Peyton and Bob Engels kind of running the show, but they were still working underneath David Lynch and Mark Frost. It wasn't like they were just running amok with Twin Peaks, So,
yeah. And you said you have friends that have these scripts, right?
I know people who have some of these scripts that have David Lynch's notes on them.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So you heard it here first, not first, but we'll claim it. That David Lynch signed off on these episodes. So my point about being coward stands.
Now, looking back, would they have done things differently? Probably. But they still had to produce 22 episodes. And so they were just kind of trying to get through it.
And they found their way. That's what I always say. And Hannah, you will see it as well, I think, as we continue to move. But for now, I'm going to get into these crazy plots of these 2 episodes, and then we'll start chatting about them.
Yeah, so you'll speed run our plot.
Let me speed run these plots. So episode 12, in an erratic mental state, Ben hires Bobby to tell Hank, who's working with Jean and Ernie. Cooper inquires about buying property in Twin Peaks, touring a home named Dead Dog Farm. He discovers tire tracks and cocaine in the house. The mayor's brother, Dougie, dies of a heart attack. Dwayne, the mayor, accuses Lana, who has an intoxicating effect on the men around her, of murdering Dougie with sex. Nadine joins the high school wrestling team and easily defeats Mike, whom she now has a crush on. Evelyn's brother, Malcolm, reveals that James that Evelyn's husband beats her regularly and that she damages his car in retaliation. While changing a flat tire with Nikki, Dick narrowly avoids injury when the car falls off the jack. Major Briggs' superior, Colonel Riley, informs Cooper that the Major's disappearance is a matter of national security, and the message he shared with Cooper originated from the woods near Twin Peaks, not from space, how he was originally told. Threatening to give her up to Eckert, Catherine employs Josie as her maid. Cooper publishes his response to Earl's chess move in the newspaper, but Earl anticipates his response. Denise blackmails Ernie into helping her and Cooper create a sting for Jean. Major Briggs miraculously returns in his living room. Episode 13, Major Briggs, bearing 3 triangular scars below his right ear, recalls a vision of a giant owl. He becomes upset, wondering if his experience was meant for his soul. He tries to explain to Cooper that the Air Force has been unofficially searching for the White Lodge, but they are interrupted by MPs who escort the Major away. Ernie calls Jean to arrange the sting operation at Dead Dog Farm. Dick becomes paranoid that Nikki may be a personification of Satan and enlists Andy's help in raiding the orphanage's files to investigate. Ben comes to believe that he is Robert E. Lee and reenacts the Battle of Gettysburg, changing history so the Confederacy won. James finishes fixing Evelyn's husband's car, and they have sex. Truman deputizes Cooper as they leave for the sting. Jean foils the sting, holds Denise hostage, and then Cooper trades, and he's hostage now. Denise then comes in and distracts Jean, allowing Cooper to shoot Jean. A power outage hits Twin Peaks. Leo awakens from his coma. Cooper, Truman, and Hawk discover that the power outage was caused by a fire at the power station, and that Earl has planted a corpse in Truman's office with one hand pointed at a chessboard.
Oh my gosh.
That's our episode.
Take a deep breath after that one.
There's so much silly shit that happens, and I love it.
And people like to say that nothing happens in the back half of season 2.
Yeah, facts. It is. So we'll get into general thoughts, and I'm sure Hannah's going to have more to say about this, but I just have Denise in all caps because I love Denise. I love David Duchovny as Denise so much. This character is great, and I am so disappointed there is not more Denise in this season.
Every time Denise is on screen, something on my notes is capitalized with excitement. It's just me like, I'm so gagged. I love this so much. I am convinced
that David Duchovny playing this role is what got him the X-Files.
Great point. I guess I didn't realize the timeline of that.
Yeah, no, this is before.
Because I think in my head, I know David Duchovny from X-Files. Yeah. And so when I see David Duchovny, it's like, oh, X-Files. I'm not realizing.
No, I knew that. This is
in 1991, he was in this, but then he also came out in a great film called The Rapture, directed by Michael Tolkien. And then I think it was a year, maybe a year and a half later, he came out in California with Brad Pitt. And then right then is when the X-Files hit. So, yeah. A supernatural show having to do with the FBI and mysteries. I mean, come on. He's like perfect for it.
Mm-hmm. How could you not love it? But yeah, I just want to say, Denise, that's general thoughts. My other one was kind of the stuff we said earlier. I'm having so much more fun with this season and these episodes this time around. We'll see. I know we still have some kind of weirder ones coming up, but things are really working for me. And there are a lot of side plots that maybe I was bored with before that are either making me hysterically laugh out loud, which Hanna can attest to, or just like, I'm like, oh no, I understand what they were going for. And I think people are just like kind of being lame, to be honest.
I like to say, you may not like a subplot. You might not like, this moment, but I don't think there's an overall bad episode of this show. like from start to finish, where you're like, this is terrible.
I think I agree with you.
We certainly haven't hit one yet that I would put in the fish and the
and you're not
percolator
that far away
rating.
from the completion of season 2. You're not that far.
Yeah, so
That's
And
what I was
most-
kind of realizing. We still got the Diane Keaton episode that everyone hates,
I mean,
but
it has its charms. But the last 6 episodes of season 2, most people will attest is just as good as season 1. So you don't have that much more to go
Yeah.
until you hit that last 6.
yeah, there's really not like that much of a
And
dip.
I think one of
on
the
that.
big things that people knock this part of the season for is, you know, when you watch it on streaming or you watch it on disc, you can blow through this whole section in about 3.5 hours. You just watch it. Okay.
Yep.
But it was 5 months on TV. That is what killed the show.
yeah.
Right. I mean, so it's not necessarily the content of the episodes, even though I do have, like I said, some flaws with it. It's the fact that it was spread out over 5 months.
But even in retrospect, like you say, killed the show. And I look at it, I'm like, no, but if this doesn't happen, we don't get Fire Walk with Me, which is one of the most devastating and amazing movies I've ever seen. And we don't get The Return, which I think is maybe one of the best seasons of television I've watched, if not the best.
Only thing that, sorry.
And
no.
so
The
No,
only
go ahead,
thing
go
that
ahead.
I can come up with, and this is 20 years removed Monday morning quarterbacking, is, and I know they needed to get away from the whole Laura Palmer mystery, but imagine if at the end of episode 16, after they wrapped up the whole murder, if the back half of season 2, Cheryl Lee comes back as Laura Palmer, being able to engage with all the characters on the show and have it be Fire Walk with Me for the back half. So season
That
2
would've been-
concludes with her murder.
it wouldn't have worked for TV, though, because Fire Walk with Me has to be so solemn. People wanted the
No, I
charm.
agree with you.
And
I
that's
agree
what
with
I feel
you.
like
There
the
would be
movie
a way
works
to
for.
get her to interact with all the characters.
Definitely. I could see it, but I can't complain. I like the way
me
it
too.
goes.
I'm not gonna. I'll take this over nothing.
Of course. So, Hannah, general thoughts on these as our first timer?
I guess I expected dumber from like how I've heard people talk about this set of episodes, like you guys have kind of said already. There are parts that like I find less compelling, but overall I think they still have a charm to them. I would say the least compelling bits for me right now, and we talked about it in the last episode, at least a little bit. I in general don't love strong Nadine, but I liked where her arc went in this particular set of episodes. I was hooting and hollering when she came in to save her boy. So you know what? I was like, all right, I'll give them credit for that. We'll stop shitting on that. I do think can't quite figure out where the James and Evelyn storyline is going yet. So right now I am kind of, I don't want to say I'm irritated with it. I'm just curious as to where it's going to see if it will have a fulfilling conclusion to the arc. And I hear a lot of people talk about this arc in an unsavory way. So again, I'm kind of wondering like what my own opinion will be when I get there.
Among the general population of Twin Peaks enjoyers, they complain about the James Evelyn subplot more than any of them. And I have some pushback, but I'm going to wait because it's in my dying to discuss.
And I obviously, no spoilers here. I just want to say though that I think some people had a problem with it because it feels like a James Hurley backdoor spin-off series. And
Yeah.
where this eventually goes, to be honest, David Lynch loved this subplot so much, maybe not the execution, but he loved the subplot so much that he used it for Lost Highway.
Yep.
And that's like one of my favorite David Lynch films. That's the one I've seen maybe tied for most. I love that movie. So, you know what, even if I don't love the full execution of it in total, I'm not really sure yet. I'm going to give it props because it ended up being one of my favorite movies.
You might be the only person in history to say I've seen Lost Highway more than any other David Lynch film.
I've seen Lost Highway
Well, like 4 times.
4 times, but it's because we've covered it on 2 podcasts.
Yeah.
So it's.
But I feel like when
added
people
up.
go to his movies, that's not the one.
It's
that
not the
people
one
like.
people watch
That's
the most.
one that's harder to
No.
find, I think, too. So.
Well, I bought it on Blu-ray. So.
I think the reason why a lot of people dismissed Lost Highway for a long time was because of the soundtrack. And so it felt like the most dated of all of David Lynch's movies, whereas all his films seem very timeless.
Oh.
And Lost Highway is very 1997.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think the soundtrack
No,
fucking
I'm not
rocks.
complaining about the
that's-
soundtrack.
right?
I'm saying that like it's very
But like,
1997.
yeah. That's so interesting because I think that's like a very.
And it was
compelling
the selling
element of
point
it,
for the
too.
movie. Yeah.
Really? See, yeah, I was born in
David
96.
Lynch was on the cover of
We
Rolling
didn't know
Stone with
shit.
Trent Reznor, and that's how they sold Lost Highway.
That's so sick.
Love
Hell
it.
yeah, Trent Reznor, get it, boy.
You have Challengers fame, right?
Yeah, exactly. Of Challenger's fame, should have been nominated. Should have won an Oscar.
We're
For
joking.
that
We know who
movie,
Trent
but
Reznor is, but we love his Challenger soundtrack. So,
Who
and Atticus
would
Ross.
have thought
Huge snub.
that that Reznor would become the premier composer today?
You know who would have thought?
David Lynch.
David Lynch. Yeah.
But see, at this point, we're way off Twin Peaks. But at this point, Reznor was coming off the Natural Born Killers soundtrack, so that was the only thing that he had done.
Okay.
Besides Nine Inch Nails, of course. But but in the film world, he had been the producer of MBK's soundtrack. So, no.
Incredible. Okay, well, jumping back this way, do you have any general thoughts before we
Wait,
get
I
into our
had more to
segments?
say.
Oh, I'm
I had
sorry.
more to
Sorry.
say. I'm
Hannah, go ahead.
Sorry. Dick and Lil Nicky is giving Charlie and Tommy from the episode Charlie Wants an Abortion of season 1 of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. If you've seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, no further explanation is needed, but it really does feel like a goofy sitcom. But because it's reminding me of an episode of TV that I love, like I still find it kind of interesting and endearing.
I mean, Little Nicky being potentially from the devil is come on, it inspired Adam Sandler to make Little Nicky.
I was wondering that, and I was
That's
like,
so
are these
funny.
together? I have no idea.
Also, these episodes, as always, like they spit in bars in this show, but there's like one specific quote I wrote down that I just don't know where to fit in later, so I figure I'll just throw it in now. His disappearance has implications that go so far beyond national security, it makes the Cold War look like a case of the sniffles. And obviously
wrote
about
bars.
Briggs. And I just wrote my note, bars. Like, that goes so hard.
Every episode of the show
incredible.
has a
If
quote
anybody
that you
else
could-
said that line, it's potentially laughable. But when he says it, I get chills. So
it's got to be the music. Give Angela some credit. There's so much, or it's just the tone that they've set from now through here. We're willing to accept so much because of the way this is.
Also,
ramped
I
up.
just want to say that when people badmouth the back half of season 2, it's like, yes, but this is where Major Briggs becomes Major Briggs. Not just
Yeah, that
and
guy rocks.
rewatching season 1. Anyone who's listened to the show, I've talked about how much I love Major Briggs, and
Well,
Hannah was like, "Why?"
I was like, he's cool,
Well,
but like, why
he's
do you
just-
love this dude so
I think
much?
I didn't even remember him in season 1, and so when I saw how he's actually in season 1 a bunch, and when I finally saw him there, I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm like ready for it. I like what I'm saying." I mean, wait, I joked about him smacking the shit out of Bobby, cracked me up,
but
even though I don't.
he's the
condone
stern
that, but,
military father in season 1, but he becomes so much more.
Yes.
Yeah, he's become a much more complex and interesting character, and he deserves the world. My last general thought-ish is I feel like episode 13 I liked, but it has multiple points that feel like an ending to me. Like, I feel like the episode ended several times, and by the time it actually ended, I was like, okay, I'm done now, thank you. The sting kind of feels like it could have ended there, and then we have Leo standing, could have ended there, and I'm like, oh, it's over. And then we get the bomb going off in the woods and the chessboard corpse reveal. It does feel like they couldn't really figure out what they wanted the main climax of the episode to be, perhaps, and I do feel like some of that almost starts to feel kind of rushed or lose some of its impact with several different pretty dramatic things happening in a row. But, you know, I don't want to knock it fully until I see how it's responded to in the next episode.
I felt similarly. Yeah, I actually was like, oh, the Sting thing's going to happen. The whole hostage is going to happen the next episode. And I was like, oh no, they fit that right in the last 10 minutes of this.
It does feel kind of rushed to me. Like I thought Jean would have more time with us. Not that I like that guy. I hate that guy. But I just thought we'd get more from him. And I almost felt like his conclusion.
Well, when he runs around the corner, you think, okay, we're going to fight another day. And then he comes back and falls down. So,
yeah, which it was kind of surprising to me, but it is what it is.
Sorry, they want to move on to the next thing. They want to re-enlist Cooper, I think.
Rest in peace,
I think
Sean.
the idea at this point was that they wanted the mysteries to be maybe 2 or 3 episodes long and then move on to other stuff so that new viewers could come in at various points. And I mean, again, this is the way television was. And at this point, if it was now when they do season-long arcs, I think it would have been much more plotted out.
Yeah.
You know, I prefer this over what we have now. So, but what we have now is, I joke, it's we have 10-hour movies with episodes with no beginning, middle, or end. I'm happy that every Twin Peaks episode really feels like it has its own little arc.
Do we want to get into Special Agent Cooper,
yes, of
aka
course.
me on the case?
Yeah,
with my 3 most important moments I think will matter later. They're not chronological, but alas. The Sting and how it concludes Jean dying, obviously, that's going to impact where the plot moves going forward. We fully know where the cocaine's coming from, etc., etc. Also, Briggs being back and revealing more about his job. Fascinating moments. And then finally, the fact that Bobby is now working for Ben and following Hank. Bobby's making some weird fucking choices right now that I understand where they're coming from, but they're pissing me off.
Briggs told him, Major Briggs said, all is going to be well. So he's trying to make that for himself. Unfortunately,
but he's being mean.
That's just how he is.
Shitbag because he's a teenager.
Kid.
Yeah. So those are my moments I think those will matter the most moving forward.
Yeah, I think those are all good ones to hold on to. And I mean, the big thing out of the Sting concluding is Cooper's name is going to be cleared.
Yeah.
So now, my man. But now it's time for him to go back to Philadelphia then.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, come here, right now in Philadelphia 2026 where I am. All right, do we want to move into our character
checks?
Yes,
of course, yeah. I'll just get one out of the way right away. Last week, I gave Denise a 1 million out of 10. This week, Denise is getting 1 billion out of 10. So, great character.
I love Denise so much. Every time Denise speaks, I cackle. So good.
Cameron, you got any vibe checks for us?
I was going to ask, did you want me to go through my highlights of the episodes or do you want me to?
Oh, I thought you did yours. No, give us some highlights.
So some of the things I like or potentially dislike a little bit of in these 2 episodes. I love everything having to do with Dead Dog Farm. I could have done 8 episodes of Dead Dog Farm. The way that real estate agent talks about this property makes me think,
the coin flip.
No spoilers, but that might come up later. Look, there's a couple things I don't like in episode 12. I don't like Audrey flirting with Bobby. Not a fan.
So, do you think I don't think she's flirting with him. I think he's flirting with her.
She likes the lick.
And I think
I think
it feels like she's using it.
She's flirting with him for gain, not because she likes him.
But the fact that Bobby is so willing to just...
That's where my problem is, and I have a Bobby vibe check because he was pissing me off so much with it. I do not like him kind of giving into the flirting, leaning in to kiss her, saying suggestive things to her, and then also how he's treating Shelley right now, despite putting her in this position.
There seems to be, and I'm gonna try and talk around this, but Bobby and Shelley, while they are in love, it's almost like now that she's home domesticated, he's no longer interested. Right?
Yes. And that was his choice too.
And this is not something that is going to be foreign to their relationship. This idea of like,
yeah.
you know, you are.
It is a shame because they have so much chemistry, and I love them together.
You can see how it can be problematic. The thing that I don't like at all in these two episodes is, and I adore the actress Robin Lively, I don't like the whole Lana subplot. I just it's from
silly.
What I understand, and this is not spoilers because they never made a season 3 in 1991, but from what I understand, she was going to have some sort of witchy power over men, and they never get to really explore that, so we just get all the men just fawning over her, and it's kind of bizarre and weird. So
I had that listed as something later as well because I don't need that.
It seems like filler, and if we're gonna say that James and Evelyn stuff feels like filler to a lot of fans, then I think the Lana stuff definitely needs to go up there, especially since the next episode in 13. I mean, I don't know what world we're living in. I understand it's Twin Peaks; it's a world away from the world, but we're gonna let a senior citizen man with a shotgun go into a room with a woman and close the door in the sheriff's department. Okay. And then cut to a commercial. Even better. Okay. And look,
I need to jump in on the Lana thing. My only pushback is it does lead to this amazing scene of all the men pouring her milk and hanging out in the room and Lucy walking in and is like, what the hell is going on? Yeah. It's a great, like, non-verbal scene that I was cackling at.
I thought that moment was really funny, but overall...
overall it's dumb, but it's still, like, you still have these charming and silly and fun moments.
I agree with you. I can sit through it, but if you were to ask me what would I cut, that's
definitely
there.
This.
Yeah.
The whole Dougie and Dwayne subplot.
Don't need
definitely.
It. And, it comes back in Mark Frost's book, which is like, but it goes, when they were younger. Now, again, I'm going to talk very around this, but when Major Briggs comes back in the living room, I love it because he's dressed in a World War I outfit. Mm-hmm. And it is our first indication that time travel may exist in this world. So that's all I'm going to say about that. And I think the highlight of both episodes has to be Jean Reno's speech to Agent Cooper about maybe if you die, the evil stops here. Love it.
I also found that very compelling. And one
the fact that they leave the camera on Kyle's face, so we are seeing him process that, maybe I am the bad person here. I mean, he's not, but I love the fact that they brought in that vulnerability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like none of this happened until a pretty girl got killed, as someone said, and he showed up. So at least for Jean, his world was normal. He was able to traffic drugs.
If you go by the pilot, they talk about how a young woman named Teresa Banks was killed a year before, but no one gave a crap about her.
Mm-hmm. No, she's a prostitute. That sounds like the real world.
Right.
So, right. That's definitely some commentary from Lynch
but Laura was a prostitute as well.
Facts, but she was also the homecoming queen. So it's like, yeah. No, you're totally right. And I love that lens of looking at this show, and we've done it a bunch, and there's going to be more of that as we go through. So, especially
Michael Parks is so good as Jean Reno that you could see how, like, if they didn't have Wyndham Earle, he would have made a great foe for Cooper throughout the back half of season 2 as well.
Definitely. Are those it for your highlights or any more?
I mean, just Major Briggs sitting on that throne. Here's a little tidbit for you guys. That scene was filmed on the same property as Evelyn Marsh's house. That chair was there, and so they shot it there. So,
I recently saw a clip of someone talking about, it was Sarah, the actress that plays Sarah Palmer, talking about how if David Lynch just sees things as they are, and when he would film, he would see it a mistake, he would go, no, don't touch that stuff on the table that wasn't supposed to be there. He would see it and go, no, I want that. And a mistake was never a mistake to him on that set. And I thought that was really interesting. So it's like, he probably saw that chair there and was like, no, I got this. I know what I want. And he could just see what he wanted. And
I mean, I know people who worked on Blue Velvet, and a lot of those house interiors was their house. And he just put the actors in there. Like the set design, like there was no set design for some of it. It was just their house. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we love that.
Incredible. All right. Well, now we can jump into some vibe checks. So, Hannah, I'm going to shoot it back to you to give us our vibe checks from this week.
I gave Bobby a 4 out of 10. I hate to say it, Bobby, because you got much higher for me.
He's on his way back down.
He's on his downturn for sure. Between what we already said about, how he was acting with Audrey, the fact that he thinks working for Ben Horn is his big break is
just might be.
Fascinating.
He's got to provide, Hannah. Don't you understand?
Yeah.
He's got a wife and a disabled cousin at home.
Yeah. But finally, the biggest thing that pissed me off so severely with Bobby's behavior is how he's treating Shelley. Shelley says, it was your turn to feed him. And he says, he quite literally says, I have better things to do. And she's like, you don't think I have better things to do? And he basically says, no, I don't. And that's kind of been his attitude with her for a couple episodes now. And it's really frustrating because he's the one who convinced her to bring him home. It just feels like two young dum-dums who don't have fully developed brains making dumb decisions.
That's exactly what it is.
I mean, that's literally what they are. He's in high school. She's also...
She dropped out.
Yeah. Incredibly young. But it's just very disappointing that he was able to convince her to take on this lifestyle that she doesn't want or deserve. And now he is not willing to be involved, even though it's his fault. So Bobby's not built for the domesticated life. No. All right.
Bobby's for the streets.
This is the consequence of their affair, right? It's not like Leo Johnson was killed in his living room at the end of season 1, and then it's like, okay, we can be together. It's like, no, now you have to take care of your husband who's a vegetable. and it's like, I've never seen that in a show before, where the cheating partners have to literally take care of the abusive homicidal maniac now is the victim, So
yeah.
Except
put that guy in a home. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah.
Well,
you don't even like it, man. Who cares what kind of reviews that
there's a moment in episode 16, right before they reveal that Leland is the murderer, and Bobby has Leo in a chair, and he just kicks off and just rides the chair across the room in the roadhouse.
I loved that moment so much. I was cackling when he rode in on Leo's chair.
Yeah. Good
incredible
stuff.
Any other vibes?
I also had Pete. I have as an 8.5 out of 10.
Whoa, that's down for Pete.
I know. Look, I love Pete. I think he's the sweetest being. I think Jack Nance does an incredible job as Pete. I think he has a really good heart. I mean, he's always been very empathetic towards what's been going on with Josie. In these sets of episodes, he says, Catherine, don't you think you're being hard on her? I think he's a good person at his core, but I think the fact that he is so easily manipulated by Catherine and willing to do what Catherine wants is what brings him down for me. I can't give him a 10 out of 10 because I don't like... He's
charmed. He's charmed by Catherine. Even though she's been terrible to him.
He's unintentionally doing crappy things because he's so sucked into Catherine's web. That's the real Black Widow here. And I get it because he loves her and he's a simple boy just doing what he loves to the woman he loves. But God damn it, Pete, you're better than this.
All right, I'm going to throw mine in and then I'll shoot it to you, Cameron. So I have Little Nicky as Satan out of 10. I'm on Dick's side. This kid needs an exorcism. He needs to get sent back to hell, I think. I don't trust him. All right. Dick has me convinced.
Okay, that the part where he's like, Uncle Dick, I thought you died, or like,
And
I
he
thought
hugs
you
him.
would die.
And Dick's looking.
And Dick's like, what the fuck? I hate this kid.
And then my 10 out of 10 here, I have the Dick Tremaine and Andy bromance. Or sorry, I should say Andrew bromance.
Andrew.
As he calls him. Dick Tremaine goes from being like the most annoying character that I'm like, I laugh at this guy and I don't want him around, to being so funny to me, wearing his stupid little Sherlock Holmes outfit and grabbing Andrew, and they're running around behind Lucy's back going through orphanage files.
It's quite literally Drake and Josh when they watch that baby. I
which
mean,
Lucy is the mom in that episode
my
of Drake.
God.
Lucy is the mom in that episode of Drake and Josh.
God, my childhood is making so much more sense.
That's
now.
crazy, right?
I like how
Do you know that one,
this
Cameron?
is literally Drake and Josh, which came how much later?
I was going to say Spy versus Spy when they're in that room looking through the files. But one thing that's I like to say is season 1, it's like the comedy and the horror like live side by side, right? It's very close together, interwoven. Season 2, with like the murder of Maddie, is so dark and so extreme, right? That the only way to balance it is to kick up the comedy to a more broad level. And I think that is where we're at with season 2, is that the darkness gets so dark that the comedy has to kick up, or else it's not balanced. If the comedy was still the same as season 1, it would seem too dark. So it's like they did balance it out. It's just that the comedy is now like sitcom level. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Which definitely with that kind of darkness still hidden underneath. Right. Which is like kind of a lot of what the show is about.
But I think people just didn't like the fact that the show got brighter. If you notice, the Double R Diner seems to grow like every episode. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
It's not just from the set. Like it literally seems it gets bigger. It's anyway. Quick.
Well, no, hit us with some of your vibe checks.
I give Dead Dog Farm 10 out of 10. I think. It's a fast. It only exists for really 2 episodes, and yet it's like you're gonna find things like this in this show if you're a first time viewer. Is that there are episodes where there's things that happen in maybe 2 episodes, but you'll think about them for the rest of your life. And that's just what the power of this show does. And it accomplishes more in 29 episodes, if we're going by the first 2 seasons, than most shows do in their entire existence. I mean, this is a show that, again, people are talking about 30 years later.
Right. On podcasts.
And it only aired really for a year. If you go from the spring of 1990 to June 10th, 1991, it was only on for a year, folks. And but what's crazy is that for 20 years, people didn't talk about the show very much because people couldn't access it. It was on Laserdisc and VHS, and nobody had the pilot unless you recorded it in 1990. And then it was the Gold Box and Netflix that kicked it up. People came back, then the missing pieces came out, and then season 3 got the green light. So it's all because of the streaming thing. If it wasn't for disc and streaming, there would be no season 3.
I never thought about it that way. That's nuts. We have the Z to A one now, so I got it all on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
for that. Any other character vibe checks?
Jean Reno. I wish he was in it more. He's a great villain.
Okay.
Michael Parks acts the hell out of that. I love his, going back. I love his whole rapport with Blackie and all that. Like it's just really cool stuff. And yeah, I agree. Denise, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but isn't this the last episode?
I think Denise is either in the next one for a little bit, but this might be it.
I think
for Denise. Yeah. Sad.
Not the last time she's a character, but I think this is the last time in season 2 she comes back. And I was very upset because I thought I wanted to see her and Albert together in a scene.
Yes. Oh my god.
Incredible. Yeah. My 2 faves.
I think that's a missed comedic beat right there. Is Albert and Denise together in the same room. Yeah, and we never see David Lynch and Denise together. So.
Yep.
Fucked up.
Okay, well, let's jump over to your suspect of the week. And I think we only have
What's
one.
my mystery?
Your mystery is still who shot Cooper, so I guess nothing's changed, right?
No,
I guess your suspect is, where did Briggs go?
Yeah, my other suspect of the week question is, where was Briggs? And who's to say?
When was Briggs?
When was Briggs? Well, that's a very different question. Where? Yeah, I guess. So last time, before there was mention directly of someone in his camp saying that they're looking into the White Lodge. Last episode, I'm pretty sure when you said, where do you think Briggs is? I said, I think it has something to do with the Black or White Lodge, but God only knows how. And I think I'm still living in that camp of, I have no fucking idea, but like, obviously that's related in some way, shape, or form. And I have nothing beyond that. I'm kind of just flying by on the seat of my pants with that one. With Who Shot Cooper, there's been literally no new evidence presented. I still have my same suspects, and Josie.
You said Josie or Catherine.
Without getting into spoilers, I will say that the answers to both of your questions, there will be answers to those questions. So it's not like they're going to forget about it.
There you go.
Thank goodness. I'm kind of surprised Who Shot Cooper hasn't kind of been answered yet, but...
All right, so moving on. Who we trusting with our coffee this week?
I was really struggling with this one because I don't like to say Cooper, right? Because it would
we could say Cooper every week.
It would just be Cooper every single week. But I wanted to say Denise, but then I said her last week. So then I was thinking, do I want to say Truman because it was his idea to use Denise in that episode, which is what, kind of saved everything. But Harry's also in a tough spot for me because he wants some fuck so bad that he's not using his head brain very well. He's using other head, and like he's using his penis way more than his brain.
Yes.
And he's not making he's not thinking through things because he just like loves her, like thinks she's so hot and beautiful. So I struggle to figure out who I want to trust. So unfortunately,
no trusting this week.
I'm going to fall back on Cooper. I'm sorry.
Cheating.
I know I cheated.
I have a wild card here, and I had to think hard about this because I was also in a tough situation. I am going to trust young Mike with my coffee this week. I know, crazy, considering where we've come from. But with all of the bullshit going on, Mike seems to be the only person that is not dealing with bullshit other than Nadine and is trying to shut that down. My guy went to Donna and was like, can you please like get this woman off my back? Nope. Donna says no. He goes and is trying to tell Nadine no. He's trying not to beat her up. No, Mike's just getting preyed upon by this strong woman who believes that she's
and that is tough because like if it were an older man doing that, we'd all be here be like, oh no, ew. But the fact that it's her and she thinks she's a high school student makes the dynamic so different. But I still feel the heebie-jeebies pretty bad.
Oh, of course.
And I do pity him, and in the beginning of the show I was like,
he's the worst. He's terrible in the first episode.
Like he's an abusive partner.
It has only been
person.
2 weeks since he shook Donna in the roadhouse in the pilot.
I know.
Yeah.
Which is also so crazy to think about. Like I struggle to
I told you it was an out there pick.
That.
I was just thinking it was funny because I was like, all of this crazy stuff is going on. He's the one guy not having any of it. And I was like, this is not right. These are not.
Okay,
I got one to beat you all then. I think you have to give it to Hawk. Because the way he confidently crosses his arms against the door and goes, I'm the man. Like, I trust him.
I always trust Hawk. I think that's always a great pick.
Hawk was under the Lana spell, though.
That's the thing. When he was under her little spell, I wrote in all caps, not Hawk flirting with her. Oh my God, because I think better of him. Well, but then I realized they were all doing it. So like, obviously there's more to it than just Hawk flirting.
And we never get to meet his girlfriend, Diane Shapiro.
Nope.
He said he's got a girlfriend, but we never meet her.
So Speaking of Lana, though, that's who I'm not inviting to coffee or trusting with my coffee this week. Because keep her away from me. Keep her gallon of milk she's drinking from away from me. I'm not getting charmed by this witch. I'm on Dwayne's side here, to be honest. All right.
I don't know about that, but I did not have her. I had
charge her for murder.
I fear there's not evidence. My first thought was Hank, but like it's always Hank. I never like that dude. So I decided to go with a new character, and I feel like a cliche saying it, but Evelyn, you are not invited to coffee. You are preying on a child. And we don't support people who are preying on underage
Does she know
individuals.
that James is a high schooler?
You know what? And
he was drinking a beer when
and
they met
that's
the
a
first
great
time.
point. But I mean, he's either a high schooler or he's like the dumbest adult alive. Like, no. Actually, I was going to say no shade to James, but like shade to James. That man is not smart. Laura said it herself. Like, he's kind of dumb. And she's either preying on a child or she's preying on an idiot. So she's still preying on a person.
Well, here's the thing. She is, playing him to come into this scenario. It's not just like she's not looking just for hot sex. I mean, she needs somebody
the thing
for
is,
reasons.
Right now we don't know exactly what her motivation is. So I don't have sympathy or empathy for her really, because I don't even know if I believe that her husband's beating her. So yeah.
Oh, we'll get there.
Okay.
Dude, Cameron, did you say who you aren't trusting or who you aren't inviting to coffee?
Oh, wow. Who am I not trusting in this?
Everyone.
There's a lot of people not to trust. Just who aren't you? Who's not coming to coffee date with you?
I still think that no matter who you are, what sex you are, Ben Horn's going to root for you. So no.
I think that's an incredible answer and accurate. Yeah.
Maybe not in this state. But
speaking of Ben Horn, he's normally that actor. He's almost always my best performance of the episode. I did not have him this week, but by God was I tempted to write him for like the 9th time in a row.
Richard Beimer.
He's so
so
good.
Even if you don't like the whole General Lee storyline, he is acting the shit out of that. He's really going for it. He's like, this is the material given me. Okay, I'm gonna go for it, and he does.
I know. Yep. I love it. But I actually, you brought him up several times. I wrote Michael Parks as Sean Renault. I thought specifically his delivery of, and you mentioned it, maybe you brought the nightmare with you, maybe the nightmare will die with you, was
come on, give us your best Cajun accent.
I don't need to do the accent.
French,
no one wants
French-Canadian
the French-Canadian accent from me, but I thought he did a really great job with that delivery.
I had one we haven't named yet, but I had Dane Ashbrook as Bobby throughout these episodes.
Yeah,
I think
good.
His suaveness, his reaction to his father, his reaction to Ben Horn, all of it. He's getting our whole range of emotions in here, and I really was impressed with his range.
The scene right before his father appears when he's talking to his mom, great.
Oh, yeah, I loved that scene.
And then when he shows up and he's like, Dad, and he's like, make me a drink, a stiff one. And he's like, yeah, of course. And he puts the cigarette out. And you can never make me hate Bobby. I'm sorry.
No, I really did like that scene because you can see, even though he's being a little shit, you can also see where he has grown and has like more respect for his father and his family.
That cut away to the storm with the executive producer, Mark Frost, David Lynch. I mean, you just get chills.
And it's like, I'm just thinking about Bobby, and it's like the reason I defend, even if he's being a shithead, all of his decisions post the conversation about I wish nothing but the best for you in your future, it all is based on that. Like him going and trying to take care of Shelley is because of that conversation. He's extremely misguided and misunderstood, I think, what his father was trying to tell him. But it's like him going to work for Ben Horn and trying to make his own money and make something for himself is all because of that. So it's this weird, misguided advice that he got.
No, and you'll also notice that since that speech, Bobby isn't doing drugs, nor is he trying to frame James anymore. He's done. He walks away from all of that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. He's not hanging out with Mike.
Yeah.
Bad influence.
I don't know. Mike's at least going to school.
True. Bobby's going to practice.
That moment in the hallway you mentioned between Mike and Donna, I got to tell you, that was a moment for a lot of the original fans when it first aired. It was like, oh yeah, they're supposed to be in school.
I kind of had that for a moment when Nadine went to school and cheer practice. I was like, oh yeah, they are students.
Yeah.
That's correct.
2 kids got murdered. I think they got timed off. Also, it's the 90s, early 90s.
Yeah,
You know.
I doubt they care as much about truancy. In the 90s.
Cool. All right, you got a best performance this episode, Cameron?
I'm gonna for which episode? Both of them.
Either.
I think Jean Reno Michael Parks gets it for 13, and for the episode 11 or 12, I'm gonna go with the real estate agent that sells dog farm.
Ooh, great! Good sleeper pick. Actually,
she's a day player. She has real hard poetic dialogue to give, and she sells it.
I agree. Yeah, that's a good pick.
Bonus shout out, obviously, David Duchovny as
always,
Denise.
yeah.
Look,
always.
Twin Peaks is one of those shows where I could give props to every actor in every scene because they're just so good. It's hard to. It's hard to
even
pick
James.
I love James. I never had a problem with James.
I do too.
It wasn't
everyone
until
else...
the internet came along that people had a problem with James. Nobody had a problem with him when the show first aired. Nobody had a problem with him when Fire Walk With Me came out. It was only when the internet appeared, message boards and memes. That's when it took off.
I also love James. Yeah, Hannah.
There's a lot of meme content
about James.
Yeah.
I know. And Lynch addresses it in season 3, so just get ready.
I'm ready.
With one sentence.
I'm ready.
All right. So let's get into our Black Lodge and Cherry Pie moments. For the viewers, our Cherry Pie moment is our most cozy moment, and our Black Lodge moment is our nightmare fuel moment.
Okay. My Cherry Pie moments, I have a couple.
Okay.
This one, because it made me laugh. It's not cozy, but it's funny, is James saying, send me all my savings, and Big Ed saying, that's only $12, James.
I totally forgot we talked about that. Our big lean away from the mic is to laugh.
I was cracking
Send whatever you got.
It was so
that went a long way for gas back then. So
incredible moments.
I just the fact that he calls thinking he's got anything in there.
That is a point, though. We're thinking about 2026.
It's still $12.
Yeah,
it didn't go for that much. All right.
Okay, so that incredible.
It straight up was like the Patrick SpongeBob meme. I got $3.
It's kind of a callback to Wild at Heart when Willem Dafoe asked Nicolas Cage how much he got, and he goes $40. It's like they're out of money. So.
But this is James' savings. He took. He's in
high school.
He got a bank account out to put $12 in.
He's in high school.
I don't care. You're better off keeping that under your mattress.
I wonder if he had to post some of that bail money himself after how many times he's been arrested by now.
Oh, good point.
That's the thing. Yeah,
Ed owns a small business. Nadine is getting a patent. All right. Oh no, she failed.
Yeah, she failed her patent. Matt, don't make fun of that because it leads to some sinister
Oh my God,
things.
you're right. I forgot. Wow, this show's crazy. So much has happened.
Speaking of Nadine, one of my other cozy moments is Nadine's super strength intervention to protect Big Ed. Like I said, that storyline isn't for me really, but her protecting
Look, I would
Ed.
say that moment is one of the most predictable things to happen because you can see how it was all being set up to have that happen, but it's very satisfying when it does.
Yes. But finally, the most important moments that I have is Audrey being jealous of Denise and exclaiming, they have women agents?
I think
I have that line too.
Angry about it.
I love that scene. But she goes,
no, they have women agents was like, oh my God, women can do this job. Yeah. Like, that's incredible. But I think she was jealous that Denise was getting Coop's attention.
Well, she says at first, am I interrupting something?
Incredible.
I love, and we said before, the trans representation in this show was so ahead of its time, and maybe even still ahead of its time, if I'm being like fully honest.
Fear.
And to have a character that is so much more than just the fact that they're a trans woman is great. And this moment of Audrey not even realizing, not even like clocking that and just being like, they have women agents and thinking that there's like a relationship between.
I think that's what's so
Denise and Cooper.
incredible
It's so good.
is that isn't being acknowledged.
Correct. Yeah. And Audrey is just the best. We've been ride or die for Audrey from the beginning.
Girl.
And and then she just lays one on Cooper, which,
iconic.
Cowards out there might say it's bad. It's great. I'm sorry. Cooper doesn't reciprocate entirely, but he's just like, all right.
And they're also,
that's what she's been
looking
looking for.
And they're also very careful to always state that she's 18 in the show.
Yeah.
I'm not quite.
He's turned her down, but.
And she's the initiator there.
So and they don't cut to a close-up of it. It's in a far shot. So the feeling is that it's a platonic thing.
I felt that. I think she's so just elated. She's like, oh my God, wait, this could be me.
Yeah.
Like I could become an FBI agent. I could follow this dream. And I love Audrey so much in this
Here's
season.
what I would love to hear. And I know there's been lots of books written about the behind the scenes of Twin Peaks, but like, I'm not sure they even knew what they were doing in the creation of Denise. I get the vibe like they created this character to be not the joke of a punchline, but to bring a little bit of humor into the show. And then, but the actors, Kyle and David Duchovny and all the actors on around in those scenes have such empathy for that character that I think it plays maybe even better than it was originally intended to as written. And so they kind of went, oh, wow, this is actually working really well.
Yeah, I guess we'll never know, but I guess when you just play things with sincerity, you're going and not with they made a character and decided it would be a trans woman. It wasn't like that was the only personality of Denise. And I think that I just don't think that writers always think about it that way anymore because of this mass media fucking propaganda machine that makes us all hate each other. So
I think that.
And now everyone's scared to do it, and Disney has to cut characters and change it because they're afraid that a certain audience won't like it. And it's like, I love to see this in 1990 and 1991.
And it was ABC and it was Disney then.
Yeah, exactly. And now Disney's telling writers they need to tone this.
But nobody
stuff,
complained back then, maybe because nobody was watching the show back then. But
hey, 9 million viewers.
I agree.
All right.
I mean,
it's a whole 9 million people watched that could have complained.
I don't think anyone cared. I think they didn't have the news telling them to care and to be mad at.
What's interesting is there was a period of time in 2012 to 2015 where there was real pushback about the character of Denise online, and not from crazies, but from people in the trans community. And now that has come full circle now, and they embrace the character. I
was going to say, I would consider this quite good representation,
but I'm not
in comparison to what's out there. Yeah.
That's
you're right. Of course.
Yeah.
But I find it interesting that it has gone full circle even more, where even they had problems with the character and then them, so.
Well, I hit my cherry pie moments. A lot of the Nadine stuff for me was cherry pie. My Black Lodge moment is pretty much everything with Garland Briggs.
You didn't do a somewhere in between this week.
I don't have one.
I actually did
have one. My bad.
That's so funny.
I don't have many Black Lodge other than all the Garland stuff is really interesting and cool and creepy, and I'm scared and intrigued and everything all at once. So
for the folks at home, sometimes Matt does a somewhere in between, a moment that doesn't quite fit into cherry pie or Black Lodge that he wants to bring up. I have never brought one to the table, but I did this week, and that is Ben playing with his Civil War models while dressed as a Confederate.
Specifically as General Lee.
Yeah, playing with Civil War models. I'm very pro. That is a cherry pie moment. Supporting in some odd way the Confederacy. That's a Black Lodge moment, and therefore it goes somewhere in between.
And also Ben being in a complete erratic mental state. That's a cherry pie moment because he deserves it.
But it's also a Black Lodge moment because that's sad to see any person going through that, So it's a very in between kind of situation.
I have an idea. If you have the cherry pie moment and the Black Lodge moment, the in between should be called the waiting room.
Okay, the waiting room. I thought you were going to say the Cherry Lodge. So
that's dumb.
Or the Black
sounds
Pie.
Like that.
The waiting room.
The waiting room. That's good. Yeah. Put that in there.
Yeah. My Black Lodge moments, though, James being taken advantage of by a grown woman, and when Big Ed said, "I live my life, Norma, I just don't like it much."
Shout out.
That broke
hurts.
my heart for him. I have a lot of empathy for
Big
our
Ed.
boy Big Ed. I love him.
That's who we probably should have trusted with our coffee this week.
But I always trust him with my coffee in my heart, so I didn't think to put him.
Yeah, my Black Lodge moment is when James and Evelyn are kissing on the car, and the camera starts backing up, and I don't think the camera rig realized the driveway was bumpy, and you see the camera start shaking as they're pulling the camera away.
Mm-hmm.
It's so unsettling, though.
And I don't like
very compelling moment.
The chauffeur that lives on Evelyn's property. He's scummy. I would never trust him with my coffee either. But the cherry pie moment for me that makes me cozy. I'm gonna say the same thing as you, but in a different way. I think the Major Briggs stuff is really cool because I love that character, and it's teasing you with the possibilities. So I love it.
I like it. And that's the magic of the show is like everything's a little bit of both. So I will quickly, I brought this up earlier, so I have to talk about it. Just a little dying to discuss from me, and then we'll move on to Hannah's notes for Diane. The people that overhate the Evelyn subplot. Something I really caught this time around that I didn't really before, and it's in James's actions. And I didn't realize James is seeing a woman in distress, even if she's playing him. Mm-hmm. And he is seeing Maddie, he's seeing Donna, he's seeing Laura. And he's like, I was unable to save Maddie and Laura. Maybe I can save this woman. He's a little dumb sometimes and probably naive. We'll say he's naive. But I completely get why they have this here. This is James's arc to be like, I'm going to save this one. I'm going to be able to do it this time because I wasn't before. And that's really sweet and sad at the same time. And I guess I'm saying I see a reason for this plot to be here now on this watch through. And I think that there was clearly an intention to evoke that feeling in us. So any thoughts on that?
I think that's what
I would just, the only thing that I would have tweaked that the fans would have gone along with it, and this is non-spoiler because it doesn't happen, I would have tied Evelyn somehow, some way to Teresa Banks.
I see that.
If she had been Teresa Banks' older sister or something like that, or, aunt, then it would make sense. It's like every time James tries to go out on his own, he's pulled back into this whole thing.
Into it.
Oh, that would be really cool.
But it's almost like he doesn't even realize in this situation, he doesn't even realize he's being pulled back into this same cycle almost. So maybe it's not a cycle in this situation, but he is being taken advantage of, and maybe he wouldn't have had he not gone through these previous experiences. Yeah. So
it's valid.
Yep. But that's it. Let's get into some notes for Diane, Hannah. So what questions are we carrying into next week?
Okay. As per usual, there's many. How did the mayor's brother actually die, and why did he die surrounded by sex books? Why is everyone obsessed with the quote Black Widow?
We kind of answered that question.
Who the fuck cares? What's the deal with Lil Nicky? And also, who cares?
I told you he's the devil.
I know, but still. The Air Force guy said, did you notice any wildlife in the area? Birds? Owls? What do they know about birds and owls? What the hell? I mean, I know, obviously Briggs had the communication before that said about the owls, there's all the owls are not what they seem in communication from, everybody and their mother in this show. But what do they know about birds and owls? How does Coop know what baby laxatives taste like?
He's a good FBI agent, Hannah.
Why does Wyndham Earl seemingly hate Coop so much?
I will hold on to that one. I'm just going to say it right now. Yeah. That's a great one to hold on to.
Okay. I mean, I figured we'd get an answer, but
it's just fun one to have though, because you will find out.
Yeah. A fire in the woods killed Margaret's husband, and she makes it very clear it was not a friendly fire or a forest fire. So therefore, what you talking about, Margaret? What kind of fire killed your husband, and in what way was it sinister?
For those not watching the Log Lady vignettes, that's from
that is the Log Lady intro. Yeah. So Briggs says he basically appeared 2 days later at the cold campfire and doesn't really remember the in-between. So obviously what happened during this downtime? Why is he dressed for World War I? And what do the 3 triangular scars that like the nuclear symbol essentially, what does that mean? Why is that on
I
his
actually
neck
really
now?
want you to hold on to that one, but I don't think we're going to talk about it for many weeks.
That's fine. I'll put that.
If I remember correctly.
It reminded me, I hate that that's where my brain went, but Psycho Killer.
Oh, the movie Psycho Killer.
Watched the movie Psycho Killer.
I thought you were going to say
January.
Dark or something. It reminded you of the show
Oh,
Dark.
well, obviously that, but because in the movie Psycho Killer, terrible movie, new release from this year, I gave it like a 1.5 out of 5. He is obsessed with nuclear power.
And he does have that tattoo on his hand.
He has the tattoo on his hand. So that's where my brain's been out. They talk about Project Blue Book and looking into UFOs. It was disbanded, but Briggs still does it, yada, yada. And he talks about looking above, but also in Twin Peaks, looking below. So why below and why Twin Peaks?
Briggs is so cool.
Cameron
said it.
There's a famous line, as above, so below. Google that.
And I've seen that movie.
Yeah.
Does Catherine actually want Ben, or is she faking to gain something
You'll find
else
out.
from him? But what is there to gain? Because
He's poor.
broke
She took
now.
all his money.
So, question mark. Who is Evelyn's quote brother? So really your brother, because they seem a little too close for brother sister, and if they are,
They started making out at the end of the
that's
episode, didn't they?
real gross. How is Leo standing? What's going on with that dude? And then who is the dead dude with the chest display? And
These are all great. You might have to just carry most of these
who
over.
killed the dude?
Wyndham Earl.
Well, I know it's connected to Wyndham Earl,
Okay.
but like, did Wyndham Earl literally kill this man?
I think that's
Or,
the
like-
assumption because he's pointing at the
Okay,
chessboard.
Matt, I can
Okay,
make
okay,
that
okay.
assumption,
Yep, fine.
but I'm
You don't
still
know.
putting it under
Yeah.
my questions because it's not confirmed.
What is confirmed, though,
Okay.
is the person playing that dead body is Kyle MacLachlan's brother.
Oh, I didn't even
I
realize
love
that. That's cool. There's another good fun
And
fact for the
also,
episode.
baby laxatives will come back at some point in the missing pieces.
Incredible. The questions we were carrying forward from previous weeks, we've got a whole long list now. Briggs's wife says he has left and disappeared before. Where was he then?
Maybe the same place.
Where were they intending to go with this show overall right now? Do they have an end point in mind? Where has Bob gone? Who or what is he in now? Where did he come from?
Where did he go? Where did he come from? Cotton
Eye Joe, yeah. Josie and Andrew.
Josie. I like
mark.
just Josie Andrew question mark.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take it.
How long have Laura and her mother had, quote, dreams? And then
Keep holding on to that one.
Al's question mark. We've got more Al's in the question mark now. And then is Lucy's baby Andy's? I love all the dark questions ending with
That's my
the
favorite.
baby.
A lot of great questions, and I'm excited to keep
And
adding
no
to the list. You can pull
answers
a
really there.
lot
I would say-
from
I will
these
say
two
that by the
episodes.
end of everything, 90% of those will be answered for you.
Yeah, I'd
Yes.
say so.
I'm excited.
So at least
that.
you're not
Keep
asking
holding on.
questions that like you'll never get an answer to. I mean, for instance,
Yeah.
Okay.
you know, Dick in episode 16 says a line that I won't say that does have repercussions later on.
We talked about it. Got a
Yeah.
light?
Yeah.
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 Don't worry, yeah. Because another guest brought that one up, and I also noticed it and screamed a little. So
And I've seen that
Yeah,
episode.
that's why-
yeah. Spoilers. Hannah has seen season 3, episode 8 because it's
I
modern
saw it out
arts.
of-
She has no idea what it means. or
I have
what's
no idea what
happening.
it means, but I saw it out of context, so I had heard that line before. So just putting that out
I
there.
told her she could watch that one back when I was watching. I was like, I think you need to see this piece of modern art, and it's not going to spoil anything. So
It
But,
really
but it
doesn't.
tells you
I don't
everything
know
you need
what's
to
going
know.
on.
it'll teach you a lot when you watch this time around.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch
Right.
it this time around in context of the rest of
Yeah.
the show, obviously.
So-
obviously.
We've been going on for a while, so let's rate these episodes. I have crazy ratings because I had so much fun with these. I'm giving both of them a damn fine cup of coffee. I felt crazy doing that, but during both, I laughed, I felt things, I was impressed by performances, and I overall had like fun with them. So I really was thinking we were going to be into the lukewarm area here, but no, I'm holding on. Damn fine cup.
I think for the first episode we covered, episode 12, I would have that as a damn fine cup of coffee. And episode 13, because I felt like the end was a little messy and rushed, I'm going to go with not quite a lukewarm latte, more like
fine cup.
My coffee after it's been reheated once.
Reheated coffee.
Yeah.
I get that. Cameron, what are we thinking?
Look, obviously these aren't the best of the best of all the episodes, but I'll take any Twin Peaks over no Twin Peaks. So I'm going to say a damn fine cup of coffee.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's nice. I am, and I do want to know, we asked people to call in, and Hannah, we'll have the number somewhere. We in the description, right? Mm-hmm. I do want to know, first-time viewers, what are you feeling at this point in the show? Are you enjoying these episodes? Do you find them kind of tedious? And I will say, keep sticking it out, because if you're like me, who's only on their second watch, I'm finding these so much more fun this time, and I think a lot of people will miss out if they kind of fall off the show at this point, which I know a lot of people have.
And if you're not a first-time viewer, let us know how you're feeling about it in retrospect.
I don't know how people can fall off this show now with streaming and disc. I understand.
Our friend
Andrew, Rev Almanac,
Andrew,
listening. Everyone knows.
Go dox him. No,
dox him. He's got kids, Hannah.
That's not the word I meant. I don't think I know what that means.
Everyone go bully him.
That's what I meant.
Send him threats. Oh wait, no,
Isn't that the
I don't know if I
same
can say
thing?
that. No, doxing is when you tell people where someone lives.
Oh, no. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't know where he lives.
Andrew, keep saying his name.
Everyone go shit on Andrew of Revisionist Almanac, because he has started this show multiple times and got stuck around this point every time. But because we're covering it, he's finally watched it, and he just finished season 2.
Oh, he did? We're going to have to have him on then.
Yeah.
That I didn't know that. That's funny. So we're shouting him out. Well, sorry, Andrew.
He finally did
everyone
it.
still go follow, and maybe you can threaten him only a little. Nicely, though.
Only a little. Nicely.
No violent threats.
Yeah.
Threaten him with kindness.
Yeah, that.
Okay. So I think that about wraps it up. So Cameron, thank you again so much. Tell the people what you're working on, where they can find you, all that good stuff.
Well, you can find me at the ONA/David Lynch's Worlds YouTube channel. You can also find me on Blue Sky and Instagram. Instagram is write it in your diary. No one will understand that unless you've seen the whole series. And also on Blue Sky, it's just David Lynch's Worlds. And I am gearing up to launch the crowdfunding campaign for the sequel or continuation, I should say, of Queen of Hearts, called Black Rose. And I'm not sure when we're going to do that, probably by May. And it's going to be really, really exciting. So if you've seen Queen of Hearts, this is just going to further the adventures of everybody.
Fantastic.
Yay.
Everyone make sure to go give Cameron a follow everywhere. 5 stars, subscribe, likes,
I'll have to have you both on my channel as well. And Matthew, I'll have to have probably a separate episode with you so we can geek out about the whole series and not spoil anything.
The whole thing.
Yeah,
I have so many feelings about the show, and it cracks me up looking at the Twin Peaks Reddit when someone's like, I think I've cracked the case. And I was like, my guy, you're thinking too hard. I've cracked the case immediately after one watch. I know exactly what the show is trying to tell me. It's not, it's deep, but people are always like, they're thinking so hard. So I would love to talk about all my thoughts.
It's a wonderful show. It gets better every time you watch it. I mean, you're on your second watch. Mm-hmm. I've probably seen it, I don't know how many times. And, it's even better on your 50th watch than on your second. I mean,
and I'm starting to get that feeling, and it's so different from anything. And now with like Lynch gone, and we're not getting any more work from him, it makes me so happy to just go back and like relive something that he had his hand in creating, especially in the movie in season 3, where it was really unabashedly
and for something so dark, it's really cozy to have on in the background too. So.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. All right. Well, I think we can wrap it up, Hannah, right? We all good? Mm-hmm. All right. Well, everyone out there, thank you for listening. This has been Welcome to Twin Peaks, and we will see you next week with a fresh cup of coffee.
Thank you for listening to Welcome to Twin Peaks, a Twin Peaks rewatch podcast from Horror Hour with the Hannas. If you liked the episode, please make sure to give us a 5-star review on your favorite podcasting app. If you'd like to call into the show, call us at 215-821-9584. You can find us on the socials at Welcome to Twin Peaks Podcast on Instagram or at our original account at Horror Hour Hanna's on TikTok. Come back soon for more coop, coffee, and cream corn.